Hi everyone, well welcome to another video. Technically this video here is number 306. I was just having a look at my YouTube account and this video here is number 306. How good is that? I didn't think I'd done that many. Thanks everyone for your support, I really appreciate it. I'm nearly at 3,300 subscribers, so absolutely amazing. It really does help my channel out if you hit that like and subscribe. Just watch me content. If you like it, do it. If you don't, it's okay. But if you do, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I'm going to grab a drink because I'm at home and it's just about the weekend. And we went away last weekend. It was Easter and we did a bit of camping and it was absolutely fantastic. We were at Jack's place. I have got another video out about it. I think it'll be 305, that video. I will start marking my videos what episode they are now in the description so that I can keep up with it, and so can you. I've got something caught in the lid of this fridge, guys. I've got too much crap in the back of the car. I haven't cleaned the car out because we're hoping to go away again this weekend, but I don't like our chances. They're saying there's going to be a heap of rain, so I'm going to go into the shed because there's a job I want to do. I've got a couple of jobs on the go after my camping trip from last weekend that I want to get done because I didn't technically run into a few problems. Look at the darkness in here. I'll have to get some light, turn back around, but not really problems, but I've got 200 amp hours of lithium in the FJ. Now I got it down pretty low last weekend. I got it down to 38%, which is the lowest it's ever been. But at 38% I still had about 60 amp hours of battery left in the car. And when we were driving home it charged back up about 20%. And when I got home I plugged the 240 into it and got it back to 100%. It only took about an hour and a half and it was back to 100%. But if you watch my electrical setup video, I actually talk about that, why I put the inverter charger in there, exactly for that reason, because you can never predict what's in the sky. And it's been cloud for the last couple of days. And last weekend, it was pretty well cloudy most of the time we were camping, and you weren't getting much solar in. Unless you got a generator that you can hook up to and create power, sometimes you might struggle, and there's a few ways that you can do that. Like I said, generator, you can get a generator, start that up and charge your batteries back up that way. If you can hook into 240, you can do it that way if you've got a 240 source, if you're at a park or something like that. But if you're relying on solar, sometimes if you've got big battery systems, if you let them run down, they do take a long time to recuperate. I did also use the Jackery as well, and used it in conjunction with everything else, like where I could use that. I did plug the Jackery into Rob from Australian Camping and 4-Wheel Drive's generator, and got that charged back up again to 100% because we were using that for Starlink and using it for other things as well. Now when I got home the other day it was back down to about 40%, and I could have plugged it into the 240, but what I did, I've got a couple of solar panels. I'll see if I can put this camera up on the roof of the shed there. You might be able to see them. Hopefully that camera got that. And run a cord down, and I've got it plugged into the back of the Jackery, and I think it was at 80 something, 89%, and it's still putting power in there now. So I've just been letting it charge up there. Dixie, it got down as well. Now I had my 200 watt kick-ass panels plugged into Dixie because I've only got one 60 watt panel on the roof. The other one's not working at the moment. I'm only using this one here. And depending on where the sun is, because it's mounted flat on the roof of Dixie, once the sun goes over the top and goes over into where it drops down at night, it's very hard to get good solar going into it unless you've got a set of solar panels you can plug into it and keep them in the sun as well. But with all the cloud around, the 120 amp hour AGM, which only gives me 60 amp hours of usable power, and that battery is about 5 years old now, so it's sort of at the tail end of its life cycle. It struggled to keep a charge as well. And the trouble I have, I never actually ever hooked up a DC to DC charger to Dixie. Never really needed it. Originally I had the 2 solar panels up there. I think I had 120 watts of solar, and when I was driving along, most of the time it was in the sun, and kept it pretty reasonably charged, and the battery was brand new. But I have noticed that when I'm driving now, if it's cloudy, the fridge is cycling, chewing up 3 to 4 amps. By the time you get to where you're going, especially if you're getting there late, your battery could be down a fair bit. So what I'm going to do, you might be able to see on the ground here, I've got this old box. Now that's a Thunder battery box. When I first set the FJ up, I had an AGM battery in that, and I had it in the back of the FJ, and I had this thing here, a Thunder 20 amp DC to DC charger. Now I've had this sitting in the cupboard because now I've got my 50 amp red arc, and I haven't used it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wire that 20 amp charger into the back of Dixie in my little electrical setup in there. Now in here I've got a solar regulator, and it's got a green light on it there at the moment because the battery is fully charged, and the reason it's fully charged is because I've had my about 10 amp BMM Pro battery management charger just plugged into it when I got home the other day, and it just reconditions the battery and keeps it in good order. It's a good idea to hook them up to a some sort of a 240 volt charger at times, and just it reconditions your battery. It's got a conditioning setting on it, and just keeps it going a bit longer. That's probably why that battery has lasted as long as it. I think it's more than 5 years old, that battery. It might be getting close to 8 years old, and but it holds up pretty good. I've got a shunt running on this as well, so that I've got a little display up in the back of Dixie here. Just open up this door. So up in here, I've got a little display in there. It's at 13.6 volts, so it's just on float at the moment. I can press it there. It's at 100%, and it also gives me the amperage. There's only 0.93 of an amp going in there, so that's pretty good to keep an eye on that. But what I want to do is I'm going to mount that DC to DC up in here, and I've got a cord here that I normally plug this battery charger into to charge, which goes straight to the battery. I'm going to put an Anderson plug on that DC to DC, then I can just plug it into that, and when I'm driving along, the car will charge the battery and keep it topped up. So that is my plan. That's what I'm going to do. I've got a few old bits and pieces here that I'm going to use. I did buy myself another packet of Anderson plugs there. I've got a few old ones here that I'm going to use. This one here I'll probably use and hook up onto the battery charger. That way I can plug it into that cord in the back of the car there. Now what the cord I'm going to run, I've got 5 meters of cable here. That's 50 amp cord. I'm going to run that from the back of the camper right through to the drawbar, and that'll plug into the back of the car. So that is the project today. So hopefully it all works out, and I'll get a bit of the wiring up and that done, and then I'll show you how it comes out, So thanks very much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you do to keep your batteries charged, whether you're using generators, solar, DC to DCs, all that sort of thing. But I thought I'd just show you what I'm doing and talk about how I'm keeping everything powered and keeping it fully charged when we're on the road. So cheers everyone. I'll show you a little bit more in a minute. Bye. Okay everyone, I'm just about ready to start putting all the joints on. I've just got to put some more heat shrink on some of these connections. I've already done a couple here, so that's them there. Basically all I do is I just slip the little flat heat shrink over the top of the connector like that, light up my blowtorch there, and then I just spin it around the end of the blowtorch there, and don't have it on a real high heat. And I've done all these ones and they end up looking like that, real nice, good joint, because you don't want any metal parts touching anywhere, especially when you're doing 12 volt stuff. When I went to take these nuts off there a second ago, one of the little nuts on the end there on the DC output, on the very end there, I couldn't get the nut off because it was spinning in the unit, and I had to take the 4 little screws out and pull this end cap off, and the nut on the inside had come loose, so I tightened that up and I checked all the other ones. They were a little bit loose as well, so I tightened them all up, got them all tight, and the nut come off, because the last thing you want is a loose connection, because that can generate heat. You might remember the video I put up, episode 304 or something like that, down at Jack's place again. I was speaking to Rob. He was doing a bit of electrical work in the back of his 4-wheel drive, and I spoke about his Travel Buddy oven. Now he'd had some trouble in the back of his 4-wheel drive with the battery going flat. Couldn't work out what it was. He thought it might have been his inverter charger, a couple other things. He had his Travel Buddy connected, but he disconnected it when he started having the battery go down, because he wasn't sure what was draining the power. And he reconnected his Travel Buddy back up again, noticed the battery was going down, then he looked in the back of the 4-wheel drive and he could see smoke in there. And as I showed on that video, if you have a look at it, the cord had actually frayed where it went into the back of the Travel Buddy. Now the reason that we worked out what had happened, I'll just show you with this Anderson cord here. He had an Anderson plug that he put on the end of the cord out of the Travel Buddy, and it was probably about that long there, probably ½ a metre, and he plugged that into his electrical system in the back of his 4-wheel drive. This part here went into the back of the 4-wheel, into the Travel Buddy, and there was this other bit of cord here that was just hanging there. Probably when he's driving along, it's swaying a little bit. The cord's moving backwards and forwards, and if you get a bit of wire and keep bending it, what happens? Eventually it heats up and breaks in half, and I reckon that's what has happened. The cord, because it was moving, has slowly frayed where it goes into the joint in the back of the Travel Buddy, and it's not the Travel Buddy's fault. As Rob said, he's not blaming that. What he's going to do next time is put a little screw clip up and have the cord a little bit shorter so that there's no movement in it. And it had frayed through, the cord had heated up tremendously. It was pumping, because it was arcing out on each other. I don't know whether he had a fuse in it. I assume he did, but I'm not sure whether he had it fused. But it actually heated up that much that it started to catch fire, and if he didn't catch it, he could have been in all sorts of trouble. I am actually going to put a fuse in this. There's a fuse in the car between where it comes from the alternator or the battery at the front of the car to the rear of the car at the Anderson plug, and then I'm decided to put a fuse on the DC output on this. So I've cut the red cord down a little bit. I've got this little blade fuse here, that one there. That goes inside that little box there. That little box will get screwed onto that wire there. Then the other end of the wire will come out the other side. And then these two ends here go on to the DC to DC charger. That end goes on to where it connects into the battery. So I will have a fuse in between that. It is a really good idea when you're doing any sort of 12 volt stuff that you have as much as you can fused, so that you eliminate any possibility of, if something does go wrong, there is a redundancy somewhere to catch the problem, because you want the fuse to burn out before your vehicle is a pile of ashes on the ground. You see so many posts up on Facebook with 4-wheel drives on fire on the side of the road, and most of the time it is due to a simple wire arcing out and heating up that much that it sets something on fire in the back of the 4-wheel drive or caravan. So try and fuse everything you can, as much as you can. Make sure you got the appropriate size fuse for the appropriate size wiring. You want the fuse to burn out before the wiring gets that hot that it catches fire as well. So that's some of the stuff I've learnt off Phil from Phil's camping reviews, and when I was doing all the 12 volt in that. Thanks everyone for commenting and watching my 12 volt install on my four-wheel drive. Been absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed all the comments. I'm going to do a live feed and talk about it and talk about some of this stuff, and I might even get Phil on. Who wants me to get Phil on? Leave a comment down below if you'd like to talk to Phil Demiano, the master 12 volt electrician. He probably won't be like me saying that. He's self-taught, but he is really cluey when it comes to anything to do with 12 volt stuff, especially powering things. So we'll get back into this now. I've just got to put all the connections on this and basically just test it out then. So that'll be the next thing I show you. Cheers everyone. I don't know whether you can pick it up off the mic, but it is absolutely pouring rain outside. I'll see if I can spin this camera around. Have a look out there. Can you see the water coming down outside the shed? It's getting worse than North Queensland here. I even had to go get my Novasight light there and set up so I can put a bit of more light on my face. I know what Mr. Buckaroony, I'm wearing his shirt, I know what he feels like living up in North Queensland and why he always does his videos sitting down in his shed. I'm starting to get just like him. I'll start losing my hair soon, eh, Buck? No, I didn't dye it. Even wearing your hat, mate. But getting back to the video, I've got it pretty well all wired up now. So it wasn't a very hard job. There it is there. I've got the inline fuse running to the power from the DC output. Like I said, there's a fuse on the car running through for the car for the input, so no need to put one on that. I've already got a fuse in the car. So all I've basically got to do now is run the Anderson cord to the car into here, run this from the Anderson cord to the one in the back of the teardrop there, and see how it goes. So I've had the, because the battery was fully charged, I've actually disconnected the 240 volt out of it. I've got the light turned on inside the teardrop. I've got the fridge turned down to -6 and hopefully chewing a little bit of power up. I'm going to have to get up and move my jackery because the water is dripping all over it. I don't know how waterproof it is. Look at this bloody crap, would you? Bloody water dripping down everywhere off the gutters. Unbelievable. This is why we did not go camping this weekend. It rained like this all last weekend. I had old Jason from Crazy Dog ring me the other day and say, what are you doing this weekend? Are you going camping? I said, no mate, it's going to bloody rain. And look at it. I'm glad we're not out there camping right now. When we get the caravan, it won't be so bad because we'll have a little bit more room inside. But with Dixie, it's a little bit harder. I mean, we have got the awning, but you still get water coming in, and with 2 dogs and us, it's not real comfortable. So we'll wait till the weather's a bit more finer till we go camping again, but we've had a couple of camps in the last couple of weeks. Make sure you check my videos out, but next time you see me, I'll be hooking this up and showing you whether it's working, eh? Cheers everyone. There it is there. I'll give you a closer look up at it. So that's the DC to DC charger. That's the front screen there. It's just got your solar input, your reverse warning in case you hook it up wrong, and a battery error if it something goes wrong. On the back, you've just got your solar input, your DC input, your negative, then your DC output. Very simple, very easy to wire up. So I must have bought that about 10 years ago. So let's see if it works, eh? Cheers. Okay everyone, I've got it all done. I've been interrupted. I've done a live feed since I've done this. I've been talking to about 500 people on my phone. Brett from SMG, just talking to him about some shirts and stuff. So I've got it all finished, and I've got it, well I haven't got it finished, I've still got to connect it to the trailer properly, but I thought I'll test it out first. So I've got the car running, I've got a cord running from the back of the Anderson plug on the car. running to the input, how I would do it if it was in the back of the van. So just imagine this is in the back of the van. Got it hooked up to the DC input there, and then the DC output, I've got another cord running to the back of the van. Now there's probably a bit of voltage drop here, but you can see there's my inline fuse there, got all the cords hooked up. Now on the front there you can see it's saying 71%. Hopefully I'll move this camera down a little bit, I just got to tilt it up. So 71% there. Now this charger, the percentage that it shows on there is not the battery, that's the percentage of the charging cycle that it's on. So that's not the actual percentage of the battery. That's what this charger shows when it's doing its cycle. So I'll show you in the back. I just got my light in my hand here too, because my light went flat inside my box here. Now I'll turn the light on. There we go. So that little green light on the back of the solar controller there, it is now green. It was flashing red there a second ago. And you can see there I've got it plugged into that Anderson cord there, which is, that cord there is running into the shunt down the bottom there, and the positive wire is on the battery. And that cord there is running back to the charger, which is now at 72%. We'll go to the back of the van here now. We'll have a look at the display. So it's putting in 13.9 volts, and it'll go to a float charge after a while. It's at 93.9% the battery. Of course, what I did was I turned the fridge on, and it's putting in 3.8 amps at the moment. So it won't put in the full 20 amps because the fridge will be using something, and it sort of regulates on, because it's a stage charger, it'll put in what it thinks it needs to do. So I'll just show you. I've got the fridge turned on there, it's on -6, and everything seems to be working great. So there you go. What I'll do is I'll get it fitted in there now. Now that I know that it's working, I'm going to mount it up here and get that all wired in properly. So it gives me another option. So it's at the 74% mark now of its charging cycle. So a quick and easy wiring setup, just using Anderson plugs and all fused. So I'll be able to charge up the battery in the car when I'm driving. My other light has just gone flat as well. I haven't charged anything up since I've been camping. I'm going to get the Jackery out now and charge all these lights up. But that is about it for the moment. I'll get it all wired up, get the cord run from the front of the trailer, and get all that done in the back. I'll turn around in the light here because it's too dark in the shed. So thanks very much. If you've got any questions, queries or comments, if you've picked up anything I should do or should be doing, please let me know down below. Cheers everyone, stay tuned, I'll be back in a minute. Hey everyone, just one more quick thing before I get into setting everything up on Dixie the teardrop. I just thought I'd show you this before I get into it, because it'll be a bit hard to show you once I do it. I'm going to run the cord through the subframe of the teardrop, but where it goes around the back wheels and up into the bottom of Dixie, I'm going to need to put some of this black split conduit on it. You've all used it, it's got the split in the middle. How hard is it getting that cord into that split conduit? I seen a hack the other day. I'm going to show you what it is because I reckon it's bloody brilliant. So all you do is get yourself, there's a ring spanner, your cord and the conduit with the split. So just hold your cord above the top of it, slide the ring spanner over the cord, and the worst part is just getting it started, shoving it in the hole. And you may need two people. Just make sure you hold on to the end of it and just keep the ring spanner pushed down and keep that tube reasonably straight. That's the hard part, and slide it along. There you go. My cord is inside the tube. How easy is that? It's much better than trying to fiddle around opening up that split And when you get to the other end, your ring spanner will slide out of the end of the cord. That's a tip for you. Cheers everyone. Hi everyone. Well, I'm all done. Well, I'm basically all done. I've got 98% of it done. I just got a couple of wires in the back there I've got to tidy up. It's working great, as I showed from the demo there earlier when I had it on the ground and I had it all plugged into the car before I actually just connected all the wires up. It's doing exactly the same thing. It's just doing that stage charging. And it was just basically just a matter of running all the wires through and screwing everything up. It was really simple to do, really easy modification. And it's turned out absolutely fantastic, and I've recycled. I've used something that I had 10 years ago, something that I first started off with the FJ with, and got it all set up. I'll just grab the camera and we'll just go for a bit of a quick walk around. I haven't got it running now, but there's the cord there running from the front of the car. I've got it running right down through the drawbar here, got it zip tied off like the other cable there, and it runs all the way under the camper. Hopefully I've got this camera sorted out that I can climb down under here and show you. Let's see what we can see. So up under here, bloody hell it's hard getting down here. You can see the cord coming out through the drawbar there. Now there's that little bit of conduit that I was showing you earlier, how you can get it through a bit of wire. When they all turn around, they get caught up in all the turns and twists. I've got a couple of little brackets there to hold it all up, zip tied up, and it goes up underneath into the floor of the camper there. So I shouldn't get any wear from the shackles or anything. I've got it zip tied away from everything. On the other wiring on the other side, it hasn't had any damage, so I don't think there's any concerns about that. I'll keep an eye on it though. But we'll get back up now and I'll show you inside, eh? Whoops. See if we can get up. And I'll turn this light on so that we can see a little bit better. Let me find the button over here. There we go. So the DC to DC is off at the moment because I haven't got the car started. But there it is mounted up there. I've still got it, like I said, I've got to tidy this wire here up. I've got to get a couple of more brackets from one of the auto shops. There's the other one just there. Wait till I hang this light up so I don't keep moving it. So there's the other one there. Quick connect if I want to disconnect it. I can also disconnect that and still use my 240 volt charger as well. And this one here that's the DC input from the car. So all I got to do is unplug that if I don't want it in there, and everything else is working. So I've done all this myself. I know it looks like a bit of spaghetti, but everything is fused. You can see the fuse panel up there. I haven't had any trouble with it. So, and like I said, that battery has been going for years. So just thought I'd run you through that little bit of a modification. I'll set the camera back up. So thanks very much for joining me in the shed. I'm still glad we didn't go away this weekend. As you've seen earlier in the footage there, absolutely bucketed down rain here yesterday. Bucketed down rain all night, and the front yard had like 2.5 inches of water running through it. And it's been fine most of the day. Clouds are rolling in again now, so I say we're going to get storms again this afternoon. I'm going to tidy all my bits and pieces up here, get them back in my tool bag, and maybe go put a bit of scotch in this. You think I'd get a good stubby cooler, wouldn't you? You know anyone that sells stubby coolers? So if you've got any questions, queries or comments, like always, just leave them down below. Thanks everyone again for your support. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you on the next one, episode 307. Cheers everyone. Bye. I'm going to get going. Got to go to the loo. Cheers everyone. Stop.